Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford did not throw at all in the offseason, eventually had an anti-inflammatory injection in his throwing elbow. Everything had been fine the first week of camp, and then yesterday, out of the blue, Sean McVay says that we lessened Matthew's workload. Really, when we look at it, we've got 5 weeks until September 8th. He's still feeling a little bit of pain. He could push through it. That, to me, is an alarm. And we've been monitoring this, Chris. He threw 40 to 50 passes in individual drills yesterday, but no team drills to protect the arm. He hadn't thrown it all the day before. A little bit of pain. Shouldn't be feeling any pain at this stage of the game. When you don't throw it all during the offseason, you've been in camp for a week, pre-existing inflammation in the elbow. It's just one of those things where if you're a Rams fan, if you're a fan of great quarterback play, you sit back and you say, is he going to be able to make it through the whole season with this?
Yeah, he's tough as hell. I mean, we know he can play through injury. But, yeah, it's a little scary. I mean, I think you laid it out the right way. It's been a full offseason. He hasn't thrown much at all. It seemed like we were kind of out of the woods with this conversation, and now they took him out of, the uncontrollable circumstances in practice where, hey, it's a team setting. I might try to throw this one in there and really uncork it. Oh, man, my arms hurt. So they let him do individual because he could throw balls like we saw right there. He could throw them at his own pace. He didn't have to put a little extra mustard in it because of the coverage and all that. So I'm there with you, Mike, and I got to think, again, it's Dr. Simms here a little bit. There's got to be more than the elbow here. We're getting into, okay, we've treated the elbow for 12 months now. There's something more. There's a muscle shut off. There's some other issue that's putting more pressure on the elbow, but they got to investigate this more for sure. It is a little concerning. And, yeah, you got some new players at receiver. You got an injury at receiver. You need your quarterback out there, to get the continuity going and things like that. I know he's played a lot of football, and it's not going to take him long, but I'm with you. There is a level of concern for the Super Bowl champs there.
Hey, and pain is a warning from the body.
Yes.
Pain is a message. You're doing something that isn't good. You're doing something that's going to cause a problem. And it's just been 3 years ago that Ben Roethlisberger elbow discomfort. And what happened week 2 of the season against the Seahawks?
Yeah,
there it went. Makes a throw during a game, and there it goes. And he has to have surgery, and he's done for the year. So the elbow, fairly important. Chris, I'll defer to you. Since you were a quarterback, I've heard.
Yeah.
I'd say the elbow is pretty important.
It is. Of course it is. And for a guy like him who we know throws so many different angles and doesn't always use his body correctly, so he puts pressure on that arm to make plays, independently without the proper technique all the time. And, yeah, Mike, I've dealt with this before, little spats of it here and there. And more times or not, yeah, you start to find out, like, oh, I had another issue here. It wasn't really my elbow. It was I got hit by a helmet right underneath my arm pad, and this muscle's been shut off because it got crushed a bunch of times in the game. So now when I come through the follow-through, this ain't working, and now the elbow's working. There's a lot of things like that. But, again, where it's a little weird in the NFL and all of that is it's a billion-dollar business, billion-dollar organizations, and they don't always have the most cutting-edge technology when it comes to rehab and figuring out some of these issues. And I'm shocked that we're still at this point and they're still talking about this.
The Rams have done a good job of keeping their star players healthy.
Yes, they have.
Healthy, We've talked about how top-heavy the organization is from a cap standpoint, and they can't afford to start losing their best players because then you have a bunch of cheaper, unproven guys who get thrust into service. It works for the Rams when they have to do it, but I'd say it's a significant drop-off from Matthew Stafford down to John Wolford if that is ultimately what would occur at some point this season, or just the idea that he can't practice on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
So isn't as prepared for Sunday as he otherwise could be. Allen Robinson, new receiver there, not getting properly acclimated as they get ready to take on the Bills in 5 weeks and 2 days. So it's just an issue. There's always something to worry about for any team, but a Super Bowl champion that has pretty much held the team together, you got an injury question with your starting quarterback, and it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, keep an eye on, and a guy that, let's be honest, I mean, he got the shit beat out of him his whole career. I mean, yeah, hello, London. Yes, I mean, unbelievably. To so much point to where we just expected it. We kind of swept it under the rug. We were just like, so what? It's Detroit. They can't run. They can't protect. Wow, yeah, Stafford will make something happen. So, yeah, his body it's paid the price to a degree. But, yeah, that makes it intriguing. And the Bills, we know they're Super Bowl favorites and all that. But, yeah, you need Stafford out there. And, they got Van Jefferson hurt yesterday as well. So that's where you get scared a little bit as far as, their team and being top-heavy, to your point.
Jefferson had been a mysterious absence from practice. Yesterday, Sean McVay said that he is going to have, minor knee surgery. And I never like that term because minor means any surgery not performed on me or anyone I care about. Minor, because surgery is still surgery. But his status for week 1 against the Bills is up in the air after undergoing knee surgery. And I still wonder when. I know OBJ's probably not going to be ready to go week 1, but it's just so quiet. Everyone's back in camp, and there's no talk at all about Odell Beckham Jr. And it's sad because he was pretty damn good with the Rams last year, and you and I agree he would have been the Super Bowl MVP. He was on track to be the way he was performing early in that game.
No doubt. The Rams coaches think he would have been the MVP. I've talked to a number of them after the game, and they were like, "Oh, it's a shame. He was going to be the MVP. The way they were playing us, he was going to go off." So that's thought throughout the organization. I don't know if you saw this, Mike, the other day. There was, they were flirting together a little the other day. So there was that. McVay, I think, made a comment on the NFL Network about Odell Beckham Jr. and all the things he brought to the team and all that. And I know Odell retweeted it and wrote something like, "That's my dog," or whatever, and all that. So, again, I certainly think they're in the leader house, as the wise people say, to be the front runner for Odell Beckham Jr.
I just feel like they're doing enough to keep the fish on the line, but they're not ready to reel him in.
Yeah, it does seem like that right now. Yeah, and I'm sure he's not ready yet. So they're like, take your time, get healthy, and, there's no rush. But I would think they're going to be the team that's probably most informed of his health status compared to the rest of the NFL.
And look, the last time around when he tore the ACL against the Bengals in Cincinnati, week 6, I believe, of the 2020 season, it was 11 months before he was cleared. So he may not be a guy who can help a team until the postseason, but we saw what he could do last year down the stretch for the Rams, and maybe he'll be back with the Rams before it's all said and done. Let's take a break.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.